Well, everybody, we'd like to welcome you back to the Turning Stone Casino here in Verona, New York. I'm Upstate Al. I'm going to be joined in the booth shortly by Richard Andrews and Tom Mcgonagal himself. Just want to keep you up to date on what's going on here at the Turning Stone. It's a 128-man field, full field with a waiting list. We're about to witness a match between two gentlemen here. One's name is Donny Mills out of Tampa, Florida, and the other one is the Iceman, Mika Immonen. Before we get started, we'd like to thank some of the sponsors that are making this possible that everybody can view. Tiger Products, of course, Q-Shark, J&J, Phil Capel of Billiards Press, and of course, PoolOnTheNet.com. Dan Hydrick, Custom Cues, and keeping Upstate Al on the road and keeping us moving, of course, is KingsOfVapor.com. That's Chad Bowling and crew out of Ohio, D-Tap League, the best amateur league in North America, along with AZ Billiards themselves, Aramis Cloth, Simonis Cloth and Aramis Balls, Lucasi Hybrid. Talking about Lucasi, let's run a little commercial here.
Introducing Lucasi Hybrid, a whole new level of performance and technology. A cue with the revolutionary X-Shocks dampening system, eliminating vibration. G5 grip technology for enhanced traction and stability results in maximum cue control. Total sweet spot construction means unmatched power. And the Zero Flex Point ferrule provides dead-on accuracy, giving you the confidence you need in every shot. Lucasi Hybrid, the only cue that matters.
And we also want to give a big shout out to Steinway Billiards in Astoria, Queens, New York, along with Larry Ross and the whole crew down there, Manny, George, Anna. We want to say hello, good morning, good afternoon. And keep in mind, AccuStats Make It Happen 8-ball event is coming up November 6th through the 9th. They're going to bring in the world champions to have a battle right there at the Simonis Arena at Sandcastle Billiards in Edison, New Jersey. Go over to AccuStats, just the way you see it on the blue banner in front of you, ACCU-STATS.com to that. Please check these guys out. You're going to see this poster being circulated throughout the social media. AccuStats, we stand behind them. The pioneers of video. Upstate Al, myself, AZ Billiards, and NYC Grind will be heading into Akron, Ohio to bring you the Earl Strickland John Mora match coming up October 1st through the 3rd. It's a $3,000 winner-take-all. We'll also be heading right up to Providence, Rhode Island, and that'll be November 15th through the 16th. So we're doing a lot of road work. After this tournament, the weekend following this tournament, I'll be in Lyndhurst, Long Island to bring you the Predator Pro-Am Tour. Well, like I said, we got two gentlemen standing by, and they're standing by very graciously as I'm running my yapper over here. And these two gentlemen are Tom Mcgonagal and Richard Andrews. Welcome aboard, fellas.
Hey.
Thank you, Al. Thanks.
What do you think? We got a good one coming up?
Yeah, this should be quite an event. Quite a match.
Absolutely. Yeah, both of these players are fine players. Donny's from Tampa. He's
got his long sleeves on. It's a little chilly in here. I imagine Tampa's a little warmer at this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, Richard informed me this is his first tournament here, and he can't wait to come back. He's not out of the tournament. He actually won a morning match, a 10 o'clock match this morning on this table. How did it play, Richard?
Oh, it plays really nicely.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Everything was a little, the new cloth and everything yesterday was a little strange, slippery, but today it's settling in.
Yeah, it takes 3 or 4 days. These tables typically tighten up considerably by the 4th day.
Yeah, they've already tightened up from yesterday for sure.
But it's what you want to play on. If you want to be a real good pool player, find the tightest, toughest table you can play on and get good on that table, and the rest of them will look real easy. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I like the tighter tables, but there's a point, I think, when it gets...
Well, you don't want to get ridiculous.
Yeah, then you can't play shape any longer. because it needs to be about making the ball and playing shape.
I find these reasonable. You know, they're not brutal.
Yeah.
A great player for years that I've known. I've played this gentleman many times. It's always a big battle. He's from Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. He's a 3-time Valley Forge champ and many other championships.
You're listening to Mike Zuglin introduce the players. He typically shortens it up a little bit. Once the first round has been completed, he goes. He gives most of the credentials in the first round, but with all the credentials these players have, he cuts it a little short the second and third day and the fourth. And you know, once these people, it's a very good crowd here today for a Friday morning.
There is. And speaking of credentials, it was a little embarrassing yesterday when I played Karen Core for my first match, and he says my couple of minor accomplishments, you know, and then he. For the next 10 minutes, he lists hers off.
Yes,
you know?
Karen has quite the dossier. Is that the right word? List of accomplishments.
Oh man!
As he said, she's the only woman that's ever won on the Josh Tour. And she's won numerous times.
And she just came in second in the straight pool.
Yes, that's. I didn't picture her as a straight pool player, but
I'm sure she's good at anything with a cue stick.
Most pool players, if you're good, you can play most games.
So do you think the guy on the next table there will ever make anything of himself in the pool world?
Mr. Strickland? Earl's still out there kicking and still playing well.
He won this last year, right?
Yes, he did. Beat Jeremy Saucy in the finals. With this field, if you win at Turning Stone, you've accomplished a lot. Once the players are introduced, they begin play. The first few tables are now getting into play. They're probably lagging for break. I believe he's down to the third or fourth table now. Should be getting down to the TV table, and our match can resume then. Both gentlemen, I'm sure they're anxious to get going. There is a waiting game that's played at Turning Stone also. In the first few days, you only play you play one match the first day. You might only play 2 matches the second day, so it's a waiting game. And the best waiters get the best tips.
Well,
that's the way I've always looked at the game.
So I played at 10 o'clock this morning, and then I'll play again at 10 tonight.
You're the ultimate waiter. Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Yeah, thank you.
Richard, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I want a signed copy of your book. I'm going to buy your book from you.
Okay,
right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Looking forward to reading it. What's the name of it again?
It's called Right on Cue.
Right on Cue.
Al has a signed copy, but he can't get a hold of it.
Yeah, my copy's been missing. But you know what? Next week, I was telling everybody about it. This is the tournament that I will be going to. Mm-hmm. It's at Mr. Q's. It's the Predator Pro-Am Tour, September 27th through the 28th. It's $1,000 added. I will be streaming the amateurs, and I will be streaming the pro side of that event. So I'll keep you abreast on social media. You got my promise, Upstate Al. I'm leaving it to these two guys. I'm doing a little work behind the scene. I appreciate it, Rich. Sure. I appreciate it, Tom, for taking the helm.
Al is always working, never idle. He's a master at this.
It's a
and
pleasure.
the equipment we're using at this tournament is top rate. And Al may be getting a telestrator, he told me last night. So
I heard that.
That would really, I'd love to be able to use one of those.
Now to our table.
Yes.
This match is being live streamed on azbilliards.com for free. So if you want to go on, tell your friends, click on azbilliards.com and find the Turning Stone live stream thread. You can watch this match from wherever you are. First, we have Clearwater, Florida. It's his second time up here at Turning Stone. He's one of the top players in the United States. Every time he plays in a tournament, he always finishes near the top. Donny Mills. His opponent, another gentleman that every time he plays in a tournament, he always finishes near the top, probably closer than most of the rest of us. He's won our tournament here the first time we had it, back in 2000. Since then, two-time U.S. Open champ, he won that back-to-back. He's the 2000s player of the decade by Billiards Digest, and he's a recent inductee into the BCA Hall of Fame. Mika Immonen.
Mike Zeglin does a great job of announcing the players, and he's come a long way. He really, really makes this a first-class operation.
Well, folks, both players electing to lag for the break. Here we go, Mr. Mika on your left and Donny Mills to your right. We'd like them to lag from the opposite side of the table, but we didn't instruct them, so we're going to let that get away. And Donny Mills, I believe, won the lag.
Looks like it.
Welcome winner on the CNY Tour. All right, Jerry Crow. All right.
These balls rack better than any playing ball I've played with in recent times. It's a pleasure racking the balls instead of an effort. Half the time you end up with a broken back before the balls are really settled to where another player will accept the rack.
So instead of rack your own, both players can rack their own if they both agree to it. There's no muscling where I want to rack my own and that's the bottom line. I don't care what you say.
No, if both players agree,
Yeah, but one thing that Mike pointed out was that if both players do decide to do that, he said, "Don't change my rules. If the 9-ball goes in on the break, it's
in the back two pockets, it's going to count.
It's a win."
So here we go.
So you won't see too many people letting each other rack the balls.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
And the background noise that you listen to is Mr. Mike Zeglin. He's got a few more tables to announce, and then that will settle down. 5-ball right into the bottom corner pocket, which was the wing ball. And he's got a shot. The one dresses up, ready to go into the top left-hand corner.
I got a feeling you'll see that exact same break next time.
Yeah, Donny's kind of a master at making the wing ball on the break.
I don't know if Mika will rack the balls the same way, but we'll try to see. The wing ball hasn't been really going in many times, but as the cloth starts to wear a little bit as we get through into a couple of days, we might start seeing that.
Yeah, I wasn't having too much luck on this table, so I switched to the middle, and I actually started pocketing some balls, and the last time I pocketed the 9-ball on the break.
Yeah, that was to get out, right, for the match.
But it went straight in for him that time. That's the kind of shot right here. I do not like being nestled up against the rail there on this shot.
Well, fortunate for him, the 4-ball is sitting in that bottom left-hand corner. You don't have to do much but just either roll up on it.
Yeah. It still just adds that little bit of difficulty to it.
We got to watch our hand motion because we got the players shooting right at us sometimes, and we got to stay still like deers in headlights. We do not want to shock them. Just filling Richard and Tom in on it, because Tom's the type of guy who talks with his hands all the time.
That's the only way I could talk.
We'll blame it on you.
No one will recognize me.
Hey, if we can't have fun, then we shouldn't be doing what we're doing, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, watch the power draw here, or he might force follow. Let's see what Donny does. I think he's going to draw it.
It looks like he's drawing. Hit that nice and clean.
Yeah.
Might be a little too straight.
Well, he can punch it, just punch it down below the 8 if necessary. Maybe he's throwing it back out again.
Pull it back around, looks like.
No, he punched it.
He punched it.
He took your first choice.
He's a bigger guy than I thought he was.
He's played here before, Tom.
What's he, 6'2", 6'3"?
I don't know, but we can use him as a ruler to get stuff off of the shelf, too.
He's a big guy.
All right, you're going to see him go 2 rails back for the 9. That's 1, 2, back for the 9 ball. It looks like Donny Mills is going to draw first blood here. And he does. Donny Mill now leads 1-0 over the Iceman, Mika Immonen. And we're only going to 9. It's a short race. I think once the players get to 5, it's all downhill from there. You know, that's like the midship way, a mid marker.
Once you get to 8, if you don't get to 9, it really stinks, like I did last night.
Well, not only you. There's a closet full of people in here that didn't make it to 9.
Some of them didn't make it to 8. But
guys, I got a little bit of information on the next match that's coming up. Getting to it now, as I don't have the graphics drawn up on the screen, but I have them here somewhere. Just give me a sec. All right, the next match up at 2 p.m. is going to be Bill Cody versus Brittany Bryant. That'll be the 2 o'clock match. And then our 4 o'clock match is going to be the Hitman himself, Torsten Holman versus Tom DeAlfonso, a.k.a. Shorty, at Providence, Rhode Island. That's at 4 o'clock. I'll get those graphics drawn up and put on the broadcast just to keep everybody abreast. But you can actually go to azbilliards.com.
So who selects the people that are going to play on the feature table?
And I'm sorry, you can go to azbilliards.com, and right on the front page, you click on that link for the live scoring, and that'll, on the bottom of that page, you have a link for the brackets, and you can click that on. Anytime you see a match on table 8, that's the live stream match. But I'll keep you up to date with all of that. I'm sorry, who picks the tournament directors?
Tournament directors.
We do have some sort of a say as we proceed, and it gets down to, minimal players, but being that we still have everybody in the field, we got to keep going.
Absolutely.
In other words, if these two guys,
I'm just curious,
were up to play and this table wasn't open, we would have to put them on an open table to keep the tournament going. But, for us, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the matches. I'm happy. I'm all over the place, folks.
Well, it's not a difficult task finding good matches to put on this streaming table. There's a ton of people here that qualify.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you see the names on the screen. That's Tom Mcgonagal. And, of course, Richard Andrews sitting in the booth out of Huntsville, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
The northernmost part.
Fine gentleman he is.
Well, thank you.
Offering his services on this match. Yeah, that's one good thing about pool players and everybody involved in the pool industry. There's always people willing to help, and if the more people willing to help out and get involved, I think we can expect more in the future. Maybe we would not see it, but maybe the next generation or upcoming players might see it. So can we be pioneers with the rest of the guys that passed away? Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Donny Mills set the break in game 2. Listen to the cracker. Did the wing ball go in?
No wing ball that time.
You didn't expect that.
Mika fixed the problem.
We're not calling him a mechanic. He just made sure they were all frozen. We all know that. And talking about everybody working together, guys, we do appreciate it. We do follow the social media, and we do see other folks sharing the posts that we make on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we do appreciate that, too. Allison Fisher back in New York City is going to be heading to Wisconsin
It
soon.
looks like Donny Mills might have broke safe here with a real difficult shot for Mika.
She's doing a lot of work behind the scenes, keeping in touch directly with the booth. We thank you, Allison Fisher of NYC Grind. And Jerry Tarantola of NYC Grind is due up here Saturday. You're going to see him running around with his cameras. Ooh, that cue ball got away from him.
Yeah.
Ball in mono, ball in hand. And I don't know how to say it in French or Chinese.
I don't either. I'm sure it's a universal game, though, and we all speak the same language.
Talking about a universal game, we'd like to give a really big shout out to Allison Chang out there in China for really spreading the word. She actually takes the posters that we have, makes them in Chinese so everybody can understand it, and lets them know the live stream's going on, which is pretty cool.
Great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we love it.
They're really producing some good players in China now, aren't they?
Scary, isn't it?
Oh, man.
When you can take a Shane Van Boening and put him over there, and those younger Chinese guys are like, man, who is he? Just another kid around the corner from America, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. But, you know, they have it within the schools. You know, I did a stream last week, and Z Tang Wu, the young lady, 18 years old, you want to know her schedule? Monday through Saturday, 8, 10, and 12 hours a day practicing pool. And what's on Sunday? It's called tournament day. She goes plays in the tournament. So how about a schedule like that 365 days a year? And she can swing a stick, let me tell you, at 18.
And that 8 to 10 to 12 hours is not just hitting them around either, I bet. She's just full of a lot of
Oh, yeah,
drills.
no, she's serious. She's a serious player.
Unlike a lot of the tournaments that we play in now, how he was over those balls. If he had scraped that 6 ball as he was doing that shot, it would be a foul.
Absolutely.
With some of the other tournaments we do, you just put it back. But
well,
this
yes,
one is
here you
foul.
can put it back. No, here you can put it
during the shot. is what
right.
I'm talking about.
As long as you don't proceed with the shot,
Yeah.
right. If you stop and tell Mika that I did foul the 6. Yes, you're absolutely right. Well, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to get around the 6 and shoot it in the same pocket as the
He's
4.
gotta
but
come
he's got
down
the-
table
yeah,
for
he's
the
got the
5,
5. Yeah. I didn't see the 5. I'm colorblind. I never tell you that.
I shot a ball the other day when it was the wrong ball. Lucky it was in practice. The 8 ball was hiding deep in the pocket. I didn't see it.
I actually was doing a commentary match of a straight pool match, and it was for the World Straight Pool Tournament out of New York. And I had Steve Kurtz in the booth with me. I never knew he was colorblind. And he kept saying that ball. You know, he's pointing at the monitor here. Well, the folks out in the stream don't know what he's pointing at without his
No, not at all.
telestrator. So I said, Steve, that's the 11 ball. And then after a while, I said, Steve, that's the, you know, whatever color ball. You can name the ball. He says, I wish I could, but I can't tell the colors.
This shot's going to take a little touch.
Really nice guy, Steve Kurtz. Wish him the best.
Donny's come out shooting real well here.
He does. He does. Do you remember when he had the match against Shane, race to 100, I believe it was?
I believe, yes, I remember that. He broke the wing ball in 83 out of 83 times.
It was rack your own, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap.
But he didn't win. That's-
No, he didn't win, but it was a good match. Well, you know what? Donny Mills is just in deep, deep focus, which you're supposed to be. Solid as a rock. That's the next song up that you'll hear in the music. Solid as a rock. Donny Mills now leads 2-0 over the Iceman, Mika Immonen. I'm upstate. I'll sit in the booth with Richard Andrews and Tom Mcgonagal. Here's our schedule, guys, right here for Friday. So we are at the noon match, and the next one will be at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10.
That's a lot of work, Al. 7 rounds. I see.
Yep, I'm expecting a lot of help from my friends, Mr. Tom Mcgonagal. Wink, wink.
Well, if I can do it, I'll be here.
Tell Al to ask Richard to sing Wichita Lineman.
Oh, there you go.
All right, you got a fan out there called Nick Charlie. I don't know if you know who they are, but I guess they do know you.
No. I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, okay.
I used to play music and sing for a living before I got, quote, a real job, unquote.
Okay. Well, you know, some of the musicians out there did make it.
It's amazing how many people in pool play instruments. And
We have the video right here of Andy Lamont. He was
yeah, Randy Lamont is an accomplished pianist.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. You know, I was telling the folks out there, and those of you that didn't hear it, there's usually an Asian lady in the lobby, well, in the corridor of the casino, and she plays like exquisite music. I mean, just perfect. So after last night, when we live streamed the last match, I'm going down the escalator, and I hear the piano, and I'm looking around, and I said, wait a minute, that's not the Asian lady. It was Randy Lamont, and he was playing up on the roof, and I mean, I got a 40-second clip of it. I had to do it. I mean, he played excellent. We'll put it on later on and give you guys a taste of how Randy Lamont plays.
He actually played a horn instrument also early in his life in Boston Symphony Hall.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. Yeah. I find out a lot of this information because I induct some of these people into the Pool and Billiard Hall of Fame we have in New England, and it's amazing what I learned about these people besides their pool.
And remember it.
Yeah,
that's a task in itself.
Well, I try to remember these things because they're important.
Okay.
Yeah, we could have Bob Busa or another Hall of Famer. He's an accomplished guitarist up in our area. He's played with some of the best jazz bands in the world. He was a graduate of Berklee School of Music. Just to name another one. I like to sing, Al.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Well, you got a microphone right in front of you, Tom. But just don't sing too loud.
I won't.
You'll shock these guys.
He switched sides this time on the break.
Yeah, he's looking for the edge. He's got the racking secrets.
Well, what he did was he looked at the rack before he decided to switch it. So let's see what happens with the wing ball. The 5 ball goes right into the corner pocket.
Yeah. You think that is thanks to Joe Tucker?
Yeah, Joe Tucker has a big part of that, and let me tell you. Tom Mcgonagal can vouch for it. He knows Joe Tucker as well as anybody else. Joe's big on the rack. And he can, there's no secrets, right, Tom? Just
Not anymore.
Rack him tight and hit him hard.
Yeah.
Would like to say hello to everybody out there in the chat. I'm sorry if we missed some of your comments or questions. We're just shooting the breeze and calling the match. But we would like to say thank you to Anya, and John Slingblade, all our mods that are helping us out, and everybody that's been signing on, whether you're signed in or not and watching the stream. And I can see Mr. Marty Herman is also in the chat. We'd like to say good afternoon to you too, sir.
Well, he was trying to put the cue ball behind the 8th there, but it slipped through. And so,
Mika's probably going to play safe here. We drive the 1 to the back rail, come off,
and that shows you
stick Donny behind those 2 balls.
That shows you a seasoned player, unlike an amateur player. You know, a lot of amateur players in their head, well, I'm down 2-0, I got to be aggressive, and they'll go for a bank shot on the 1 or try something. That it's not warranted, you know.
No.
And I'm not making fun of any amateurs. It's just most of it's normal.
Well, he had a very difficult shot, and I don't think he had a position play, but he left an opening between those 2 balls, and Donny
beautiful speed.
Went through there and put the 1 ball back up in the back rail. This is if he can't see it, this is going to be a difficult kick.
I think he's got a piece of the right side of it, but the problem is, I think it will run in, the cue ball may run into the 8 and stop and stay down there. Yeah. Well,
watch the rock.
Here we go again. He's going down. Wow. He scratched on 2 safety plays. He's scratched. Not the way you want to be going against Donny. You could tell Donny's a very seasoned player. He didn't just run to the table and shoot the first shot. He's mapping out the route he wants to take to run this table. in his head. And now it's just a matter of executing his thoughts. Oh, wow.
Many times we've seen that happen on the diamond tables. You know, the points of these diamonds, you got to make them. You got to put them in it. And then once you start doing some of that heavy draw or some kind of pushing the ball in a force follow with a heavy force follow, make sure you split the jaws on those pockets, or else it will spit them back out. And Mika jumps out of his seat like a moth to a flame. He can't wait to get back. And he's going to, oh my God.
Wow, wow, wow.
And that's uncalled for right there. That's 3 unforced errors. He had 2 scratches, and he just missed the 3 ball.
Well, sometimes in this game, the hardest shot to make is the one you didn't expect. He didn't expect Donny to miss that 3 ball. He figured Donny was going to be out of the rack once he scratched on the safety play earlier. And that's when you really got to bear down and make sure you make that shot. As he's just turned around and gave Donny a full tank of gas to drive around the block.
And in our time and age, full tank of gas was just to get you about around the block.
Yeah, you need a credit card too.
If you're listening, anybody out there in Washington, D.C., and you got some pull, hey, how about lowering these fuel prices?
Yeah, I believe he got the angle, just perfect angle that he wanted on that 7 ball. Now he doesn't have to worry about the 9, running into the 9 or anything.
Yeah, he's where he wants to be.
Yeah. He wants to create an angle on the 8 so he can go 1 rail back down for the 9. So you're going to see him draw up just a little bit, just by the side pocket, a little up.
Oh, my goodness, wow.
How about this? Mika once again. Spring chicken, reborn.
And Donny's over there scratching his head. That's typically what we do when we make a mistake.
Or we look up and talk to the pool guards. So the Iceman puts 1 on his side of the board. It's now 2-1. If you're just signing on, we are coming to you live from the Turning Stone Casino. I'm Upstate Al with AZB TV. I'm sitting in the booth alongside these 2 fine gentlemen, Mr. Tom Mcgonagal and Richard Andrews.
Well, let's see if Mika has as much knowledge of the rack as Donny has.
Well, we're going to see some kind of inspection, definitely, of the pack.
I'm impressed with the crowd that we have in here. I'm not used to seeing this many spectators at
It gets better.
events. Yeah.
Closer
Oh,
to
I'm
the
sure.
weekend.
Yeah. I'm surprised this early on though that there's so many.
We all got the AARP cards too.
I'll give you a little idea, guys. When you were tuned in earlier, you seen there was a lot of spots in between. There's still quite a bit of spots in between the bleacher seats. They're cushioned, very comfortable, and you can see they're starting to fill up. I could see somebody in the audience, actually. He goes by the name of Fox. His name is Al Salem. He's from Yonkers, New York. I could see him in the audience. He loves to come up and sweat the action. You see Earl Strickland in the top left-hand corner of your monitor.
Yeah, he didn't hit it soft, did he?
That's the mighty Pearl. And here's the engineers taking a look and making sure that the foundation is sturdy. Mika taking a hard look at the pack. I think this is going to be an issue throughout this whole set.
Yeah, that could be.
Mika talking to himself on the way up. He's wondering why he's not dropping. Well, let's watch the 4 and the 7. The 4
Straight
ball
in.
right into the corner.
Rocketed in there.
Mika took a real hard look at the 2 and the 9 down at the bottom shorthand cushion. If you see him and you can get to the short side of that 2, you got a quick game by playing the 2-9 combination. See it down there at the bottom of the rail there.
And the problem is getting there. I think he's going to elect to play safe.
Well, he took a good look at it for the simple reason is he doesn't want to leave any kind of option for Donny Mills or an opportunity for him to pocket this one. We know that. So
Yeah,
he's got to be real careful.
I think the 6 and 7 will be hiding the 1 here in a moment.
You got a few problems here. You got the 3-5. I mean, you know,
Yep.
so it looks like it's going to be a quick game. If the 2-9 stay like that, I'm pretty sure somebody.
Oh, he banked that ball.
Wow.
What a shot.
And that's
What
why he took a quick look
that's
at
a
it.
great shot. Wow. Close to 3 and 5 might have had a little bearing on the way he played this rack.
Right. It was an ugly table.
Yes. Ooh, he just missed it.
Mika definitely not happy with himself as Donny Mills bounces out of his seat.
Yeah. He got up and shot that so quickly. I was a little surprised.
I'd like to see him get on top of that 3 and play the 3-5-9 combination.
I think he's going to draw over for play the big. Either that or play safe.
Well, does he have room to get positioned to play the 3 rail safe, leaving the cue ball behind the
3-5.
Yeah, the behind the 5, and he might be able to 3 rail that 3 into the 9.
Oh, he tried to cut that ball.
Ooh, this is going to get ugly, which is double ugly, folks.
Yeah, but he got fortunate here, it looks like.
Mika can play 3-cushion billiards, and let me tell you something. This 9 ball is going to be in the hole.
Yeah, if he can
Hopefully the cue ball doesn't follow it. Sorry.
I think he can drag that over.
Yeah, he can hit enough of it, yes.
You got to make sure he doesn't touch that
There you
7
go.
ball, though.
Okay, we're tied at
Yep.
Desmond. 2-2. Folks, we're going to keep reminding you about this AccuStats Make It Happen, the pioneers of the video streaming business. Probably the largest, not the probably, is the largest library in the world that they have the collection, and you can buy their DVDs if you go to accustats.com. Also, they have that 8-ball invitational coming up November 6th through the 9th, and they will be heading down to Chesapeake, Virginia to bring you the U.S. Open. So, accustats.com. Pay them a visit. And if you can send some emails to say thank you to Lacassi Q's for jumping on board and being a sponsor so that we can free live stream this, along with the Tap League, Simonis Cloth and Aramis Balls. We do appreciate it. And believe me when I tell you, those emails go a long way. They love to hear it from folks saying thank you for being a sponsor, you know, and allowing us to bring these streams such as this prestigious tournament to you.
The only problem I have with this is sometimes the racking of the balls takes longer than the game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we called it. We knew that this was going to be an issue. Mika's looking for that 8-ball, that wing ball to go right back into that corner pocket.
Of course, it's not going to come down to, okay, let's rack our own, because I don't think that's going to happen here.
No, that's without a doubt never going to be an issue. But, you know, in all fairness, Oscar Dominguez played on this table last night, and they had trouble also racking the balls.
Okay.
Earl is the reigning champion. The gentleman at the left-hand side of your monitor is the reigning champion. He knocked this down last year. Jeremy Sosi actually came in second. And I believe Jeremy Sosi had another second place when he played Johnny Archer in the finals, I think the year
Yes,
prior
he
to
did.
that, or 2
Yeah,
years prior to that.
yes.
And Jeremy Sosi is one of the fine young gentlemen who's going to represent the United States in the Mcgonagal Cup.
I'm
on
very
our team.
anxious to see how those
Great.
players that they've selected this year do. It's going to be it's going to be, in my opinion, a pleasure to watch new faces
Yeah,
and new players.
I agree.
And I hope they do very well.
I agree with Mark Wilson. Putting a young team together and grooming them together. You know, bringing them to that SEAL training camp.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
letting them, teaching them how to be one. You know, I agree with him 100%.
It's a team effort.
Yeah. And that's the problem we have here in the States, and it's one of my pet peeves, and I hate to rant about it, but I would love to see pool brought into schools.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I think
Some schools do. There's a college NCAA championship every year. Colleges do it.
Jameson New is out there pushing for it. Mark Wilson is pushing for it.
Be
I
nice to
believe- I
see a
believe
high
they have
school,
scholarship, in
high
place
school
for it.
championship. It's a game that a lot of people can play. And you don't have to be basketball, a big guy.
Well, you know, we have golf.
Yes,
you know,
you
we
hand-eye.
got different
It's
swimming.
a hand-eye coordination game, and you don't have to be big, or it's not about throwing the ball 100 miles an hour. A young kid that isn't going to be one of those players can be a pool player. That's what happened to me. I threw my arm out in Little League. I wasn't going to play baseball anymore, and I found this game, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I had a chance to be a great player if I wanted to be. And the town I grew up in had a lot of very, very good pool players, and I was fortunate to be around them and learn from them.
You didn't learn too much.
I learned a little.
You did.
I paid attention.
I like joking with
I
Tom.
didn't pay attention in school, but I paid attention in the pool room.
By the way,
It was
guys,
either that or go home broke.
let me bring you up to date.
There's no
It's
worse
called-
feeling.
The book is called Right On Cues. You can go to Amazon. You can buy the soft copy, or you can download it for your Kindle at $2.99. I don't want to say $3.
$2.99, yes.
$2.
Only.
Written by Mr. Tom Mcgonagal, who's sitting right here in the booth alongside Richard Andrews and myself.
Yeah, and I'm going to get me a signed copy of it here, so if any of my buddies out there back home want
Let me
want
hold it
let
for
me
you
know.
There
as
you
you're
go.
playing the match or something, will you? If 4 years later you might get it back, I'm expecting mine back. And the gentleman has mine. Is up in the audience up there. I've got to remind him. It looks like Mika's going to put up another bead, and he does.
Momentum has swung a little bit here towards Mika.
Yeah, I think when he got up to break there, he was still not satisfied with the break, but with the rag, but just gave in. The look on his face. He didn't make the wing ball, but the ball went down one
Well,
rail all the way down into the corner.
I'll tell you a little story if you didn't hear it for those folks at home and you guys sitting in the booth. And Tom, you might have heard it. Last year, you know, Earl Strickland beat Jeremy Sosi in the finals. Well, after the tournament, Mr. Larry Ross out of New York hires Tournament Joe Gibbons to chauffeur Earl around the tournaments. So they were on their way home. Tournament Joe was driving. He put his foot on the pedal a little too fast. He was passing an 18-wheeler or something. They clocked him, about 80 miles an hour, so they pulled him over to state trooper. Well, behind them, about 10-15 minutes, was Jeremy Sosi and Phil Davis. And as they went by, they seen the car, and they seen the plate was from New York. And Jeremy, just joking around, and Phil, they said, "Wow, I hope that was Earl Strickland." Well, they stop at a rest stop down the road, and who comes walking in behind them? Earl Strickland. And Tournament Joe and Earl says, "You ain't going to believe this. They just pulled us over down the road," and all four of them just started laughing. All right, 3-2. We're back to the Rack Pack.
So who paid the ticket?
They didn't give him a speeding ticket at all.
Did Earl tell him who
it was
he
a young
was?
lady. It was a young lady state trooper.
So Earl didn't say, "I'm 5-time world champion." I guess
He's an unbelievable shooter, champion
yes.
by all rights.
He must be still running because he's maintaining his. He's a little slim.
And there you see him. We'll take a camera angle as they're trying to maneuver this rack to the left and to the right. And there's Earl Strickland set up the break on the table right behind there.
Yeah, he hasn't been checking the rack, but I noticed the last time he broke them really hard, and they went through it. He still made a ball, but he had about 4 of them that stayed right there where the rack is.
So they're going to keep fooling around with the rack, and don't be surprised if Mr. Zuglin comes down here and says, I'm going to rack the balls, and nobody's going to look at it, and you break them. We've seen that done before.
Yeah, he doesn't care for that too much, does he?
No.
Well, he's on a time schedule.
And I'm not saying that they're maneuvering and that Donny's doing anything to the rack special. Maybe it's just, hard table to rack on. I don't know.
It was, I played the match before this, and it was a little difficult on this table to get him. I would get the front right, and then the back, a different part would get out on me, and it did take a while to get it right.
Mika grabbed the rack and showed Donny what he should do. So.
Donny might be pushing for a rack your own, and let's do this. So Mika is now racking his own balls, and he's going to let Donny inspect them. And Donny's probably saying, I don't want you racking your own, and I want to rack for you.
Yeah, Donny's not one to give in on that, I don't believe.
You got a bunch of people watching this match, and people on the live stream.
We can see Billy Lana, Billy the Kid, off to our left over there. Always fun to have Billy around. We call him Uncle Billy. He's a great kid. Nobody wanted to touch him in one pocket years ago. Remember that?
No.
17, 18 years old, nobody wanted to touch him. Still here. Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid is now Billy the Man.
Is now Billy the Man. But he'll always be Billy the Kid
Yes,
to
he
me.
will. Yes, he will.
All right. Mika says we're good to roll, so let it begin. Smash, crack. This time the wing ball doesn't go in.
You can't get frustrated because of the way the balls are being racked.
Yeah, Donny said the ball spread out, when he hit them. He just didn't make it a winning ball.
I don't see Dana coming down here to rack as of yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down and gives him a little bit of a warning, because we don't want to run behind. We do have a scheduled 2 o'clock match.
Yeah.
Cue ball's going to leak right behind that. Ooh, escaped the 4 ball. I was going to say that 4 ball was growing.
I think he's going to have to kick at this ball. Maybe not.
It looks like
He can see it. He can see it. Yep.
I thought Donny was going to kick safe there on the previous shot, because he was having to turn the cue ball loose to cut the 1 in.
Yeah, it's funny what goes through players' minds at the table. And you're playing a strong player. You want to be as aggressive as you can, because leaving them safe a lot of times, they kick the ball and they leave you safe.
Right,
so you typically shoot at more shots. You play more offensive pool than you typically would if you were playing someone not as tough as the guy you're playing here. And both players are doing it.
Yeah.
Watch that 7, the large ball. Ooh. Just escaped the 7.
He'd like to be a little further on this ball. He doesn't want to hit the 8 ball going around the table. And if he draws it, he might hit the 6. If he follows, he might hit. I would think
Does
he
he
would
have the angle to play the reverse and just come back
I
over
would.
the rail?
Yeah,
I would think inside English.
Look at Earl Strickland. What a move by Mr. Earl Strickland with a fist pump. Look at him. Earl the Pearl. My ace in the hole.
Donny took option 4. He just slow rolled it and took the longer shot.
Yeah, that was
Earl, very entertaining.
That was good, and he kept the correct angle to get over where he needs to be for the 5. Yeah, I'd like to see that with Earl, you know, going over and doing the pumping the fist
Well,
to
I
get
put
the
it
audience.
on the stream as fast as I can.
Yeah, getting the audience involved.
I hope if the other fellow did the same thing, he would take it, you know.
He would take it.
In a nice manner.
He would.
Yeah.
He would.
Yeah, last night, Karen Core was winning game after game against me, and every time, of course, everybody was nice, politely clapping, you know, and I, after I racked the balls, I walked over there and I said, now, if I happen to win another game, I expect y'all over here and roar from you guys, you know. And they politely clapped after I did win a game.
There you go.
You can go to azbilliards.com and see the live scoring.
Yeah, Errol has a big audience over there, and he thrives on it.
He's a showman. Well, not only that, he's got Johnny Archer right behind him.
Yeah.
Playing Matt Craw, too. So you got 2 world champions.
And then Karen
3
Core
world
behind
champions.
that.
We got Mika here.
Yeah, this is quite a
We got
lineup.
Earl, and we got Johnny Archer.
Yeah.
Wow. We got the whole crew right in front of us.
I noticed on that shot that Donny just did that the table's still sliding a little bit, you know, that new cloth slide.
That'll stop after a while.
Yeah. It's better now than it was yesterday, and the pockets are a little tighter too already. But it's still sliding.
Well, Donnie Mills says, let's go up to 33rd Street and see what we can do around Broadway. We're tied at 3 apiece, folks. We're going to 9. There you can see Johnny Archer back there, 3 tables back. That's the Scorpion. And right behind him is Kayla, and she's playing Karen Core.
Wow.
So just a reminder for those of you that want to come up for the weekend, we got 12 hours of pool today. We got Saturday and Sunday to go. If you want to take some photos, all players are approachable. Trust me when I tell you. Photos, autographs, come on by. It's free admission to come into the venue. Support the game like many others right here. Not only the bleachers. I think there's standing room only along the rail. As you can see, they're 2 and 3 rows deep, sweating the matches. Let's get back to the featured match. Donnie Mills set to break. We're tied at 3 apiece. The wing ball, 7 went right into the corner, but the cue ball found the corner pocket also.
How many viewers do we have right now?
Approaching 600 right now.
Wow, that's great.
And that's due to everybody sharing the information, you know, and bringing everybody on board.
Mm-hmm. If I might, I'd like to say hello to a friend of mine at Amazing
Wait a minute.
in Malden,
Wait, you got to
Mass.
get permission first. Wait a minute.
If I may.
You sure you
May
can?
I? Stevie Roy. Stevie Roy is a good friend of mine. He works at Amazing Billiards. I'm the house pro there.
Amazing Billiards, Amazing Sunni's place. Isn't
Yes,
it?
yes. And what people don't realize here, you got 690 viewers, and the whole pool room is watching
Oh, cool. Well, we want to give a big shout
on the
out.
big screen. So there's more than 690 people watching this.
Yes, yeah. Some people have it in their clubs. You're
Yeah, it'd
absolutely
be
right.
nice if they had it in all the bars and.
Well, that was what they did when we were down in Jersey last week. Was they put it on all the screens around the pool?
Yeah, there you go.
It was a pay-per-view. We put up all the lighting, really bright lighting and stuff for the pay-per-view. And it was a really good match between Jason Shaw and Shane Van Boning. It was a race to 100. Man, was that a great match to watch. In fact, Scott Simonetti and John Treviano and many of the owners, I just gave them all the files to the matches. And I believe they're going to have those DVDs available for folks. So you might want to reach out to Scott Simonetti on Facebook or Castle Billiards in East Rutherford, New Jersey. What a great match that was.
Mika's getting a stroke now.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, sometimes things never change.
You can tell body language the way these players feel, and right now he's feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Plus, when you're in line, it's a nice feeling. The ball moving a little further than it looked like in the beginning.
We had a couple of guys downstairs waiting for you, Tom, just in case you get out of hand. We got a couple of these boys.
I see them.
They're hanging around the table.
They were after me again last night, too.
They said, this guy didn't ask any kind of permission. Who is he? I said, he's a friend of mine. All right, we're tied at 3, folks. We're at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. A great venue. You can sit in the bleachers and sweat half the room, if not all the room, depending on how high you sit. It's amazing. And that's where azbilliards.com, Mr. Jerry Forsythe is sitting. Soon to be Mr. Mike Howerton coming down, relieving Jerry, and they're keeping all the scores for every match and the brackets up to date on azbilliards.com.
This is an excellent venue. That's reading up on this before I decided to send in my entry. You know, I saw a lot of reviews where they said it was just the best. You know.
Yeah,
great.
You're absolutely right.
And it is. It
Yes,
is
it
really
is.
nice, and they're having another event in January.
January,
here, right?
yeah, we will be back in January also to bring this.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be live scoring or brackets online for that one, but I will be here.
I think Earl's match is over.
Yes, Earl won his match. Yeah. You know, Earl gets on a roll, and you can't get to the table. He's like a freight train. Hold on to your horses, as Mika says. Let's get down. 4-3, his favor. He makes the 5 ball.
And the 4 goes into a bad place.
And he makes the 3. 1 ball's cuttable. He's going to have to go all the way up table, thread the needle between the 7-9, get the angle on the 2 so he can drag the cue ball to snap the 4-8 apart. So he's looking at that angle now.
Now, do you think he'll go back and come into the center of the table, or try to come all the way to back to this end of the table?
He tried to come around. See, he wanted
I
the angle
see.
on the 2,
Yeah.
so he can drag the cue ball up to break it, but that didn't work out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just the level stick and hit it
Go
the
straight
top
up.
and go straight down the back. Yeah.
That's what I thought he was going to do, yeah. He spun it. Donny Mills, I think, is taking off his sweater because he feels warm in here. Being from Florida, I thought he would be freezing in here as the air conditioner starts to kick in.
Well, the adrenaline gets you a little warm. The heat of battle, they call it. This is a tester starting out. But if he makes it, he should be out. So it's a shot worth shooting.
Cody coming off the rail.
Yeah, he jumped up on that one too.
Well, not an easy shot.
Yeah, you don't usually see that from Donny.
Mika's going to come up between the 9 and the 7 ball, I think, or either that or try to go around the 7 ball or the 4 ball. This is probably his most difficult position shot left. He went around the 7. Nice shot. With the bridge, great cue ball movement.
Oh yeah, he's in a nice position now.
You see, Earl won his match, and if Karen wins her match, it'll be a matchup between Earl and Karen. But we can't have that match on the stream table right now. So our next match coming up is going to be Brittany Bryant versus Bill Cody. And then our 4 o'clock match is going to be the hitman himself, Torsten Holman versus Tom D'Alfonso.
We had the speed down nicely on that draw shot there, didn't it? For
Yeah,
shape on the 9.
Mika's got it down right now. He's feeling good about the table. He's feeling good about everything. Making shots, playing good position. He's another one that when he gets on a roll, it's tough to stop him.
Yeah.
I've been victimized. I know that. He beat me 9-1 in the U.S. Open, or 11-1, I think it was. Yeah. Of course, he was coming off a loss, and that wasn't a good situation for me. Some of these tables on the spot, I noticed there's a little, unfortunately, when we play pool and we break hard into the first ball, the 1 ball and 9 ball, and I'm using my hands again now, sorry.
No, that's quite right.
But, they're breaking, so I can do that.
I'm only worried about Richard because he's, we put him out right in the wide open. I got the monitor and the computer here, so I can do things like that. But
yeah, but with the force of the 1 ball, a lot of times the cue ball is bouncing when it hits the object ball and the 1 ball, and it forces it down into the cloth rather violently, actually, when you think about it. And
right.
it makes a hole under the spot. And once that hole is there, it's hard to give a good rack because the 1 ball sinks into that hole.
Kind of
and the rest of them don't touch it the way it needs to be touched. If someone could develop a pool table where this didn't happen, or a cloth or a spot, it would be a big help to the game.
Yes.
But how do you do that? What mind could think of that? I've always thought of a table where once the table doesn't rack on one end, you could just swirl it around, and now the other end becomes the breaking end. What do you think of that idea, Richard?
Well, I don't know. How about a titanium spot or something?
Okay, where it doesn't get ruined?
Right. So it doesn't go down.
That would be pretty expensive, though,
yeah,
wouldn't
it would.
Well, look, there's no harder material.
If one man could solve this problem, it's upstate out.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You see right where Mika's legs are. You see where it says diamond there or
Yes.
on the other table. There's no harder material in the world.
And a diamond.
All right, so they're playing on the best equipment. How does that grab you? Wow, what a plug for diamond. Tom, I think we just created a commercial between the three of us.
All right.
Okay. Just lining a couple of things up here, folks, as I behind the scenes. Give me a second. Oh. Don't worry about the
And it looks like he has.
And the next question is, will the 5 ball go in the corner?
Possibly, yeah. That's what he's looking to make, where he's breaking from. No, it went high.
Yeah, but you see where his cue ball landed.
I think he's breaking with the confidence that he's not going to make a ball, and therefore he's leaving the cue ball in a bad place.
But I think that's why he didn't make the ball, because he hit it.
Well, he didn't hit it square enough.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into making a ball on the break.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the way they're racked. You still got to.
I'm just fooling around over here trying to get some more graphics in. Anyway, I'll work on that as we proceed. Back to the match.
I didn't recognize Donny with his shirt off.
Nice.
The rack has become an issue. It's now 1 o'clock. What do we have in the bag right now as far as the score?
It's 5-3.
Okay, so we have 8 games played in an hour. It should be a little bit more advanced than that. So
Yeah.
due to a few minutes here.
Well, the racking has taken more time than the playing.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I've actually had people turn off pool that, they're not big avid pool people. They turned it on and they were watching it. And they
Right.
stopped watching it because of the time it took for these people to accept the rack. And that's not a good thing. We need all the watches we can get.
Rolex preferably or something
Yeah.
of that nature.
Donnie's a little concerned here about whether he'll get a shot on the 4-ball.
Is he going to drag it right between the 4, 6, or above the 6 and back out for the
Well,
4 into the corner
if he goes
pocket
to
by
the
the
back
7?
rail, if he goes to the top rail, he's got a small area to get position.
How about drawing it above the 6 and back out for
Yeah,
the 4 in the right-hand corner?
I would draw over and try to hit the 6 and play the 4 in the left-hand corner pocket. Let's see what he does.
Went right between them.
He's
First
got a
choice.
side shot now. Once the table is set, you hate to move balls if you don't have to.
Yes, I agree. The less you have to run into anything, the better off you are, unless a necessity.
Is he partially blocked with the 5 into the side?
Oh, he can make that.
Okay.
Probably would have helped him if he missed it on the bottom side of the pocket.
You know, it looks like he's kind of straight here on the 5, but it's okay because he needs the angle on the 6 anyway like that to get back out for the 7. So he's okay. Nice shot. Now this pocket's kind of big up there right now with that 7-ball where it is. So even if he actually overdrew this, it would probably billiard off the 7 right into the corner. So. And he did miss a cut shot like this in the opening games. But you can't expect him to miss too many as he splits the jaws.
Yeah, he did.
Well, that helper gives you the confidence to shoot the shot in.
Yeah, and absolutely. And that's most of the time you wind up splitting the jaws. You don't need it.
Absolutely.
It kind of makes you look like a superstar, don't
Oh,
it?
man.
And he is, by all means, he can play. I see Jake here. I met this gentleman, Jake, on social media, and he says, I'm coming to the Turning Stone. I live about a half hour or 45 minutes away. And he came down and introduced himself. Another face in the screen name I put together. As Donnie Mills approaches the tarmac and ready to take off and put another bead on his side of the scoreboard instead of going down 6-3. It looks like it's now going to be 5-4. That's a different horse of a different color.
Yeah, he needed that rack. That was a
5-4.
very important rack to win. They're all important, but you don't want to fall three games behind the Mika and have him breaking. That could really...
Not many people in this world, and I don't know if there is anybody that can spot him 3 games on the wire going to 9.
No.
Not for the cheese. And we'd like to say hello to Scotland, Jason Shaw's family. We know you guys tune in when Jason is playing in the tournament.
Which way did they vote? Did they vote for independence or are they staying with England?
I have no clue. You know, you asked me off-the-wall questions. Where did that come from? You must
they
be
just
from.
had that vote recently,
It's something
but-
that they're
You must
going
be from
through
New
right
England. You got it.
It's the only news item that I know anything about right now. And if I know it, I figured everyone should know it.
The last time I tuned into a news channel, I was probably out cold. Too many crazy things going on in this world. Turns you into a vigilante.
Exactly, yeah, you're not
Yeah,
kidding.
I think you and I heard the same thing, which was
Yeah.
they were about to vote.
Yes,
but,
they were.
But I don't know what the outcome
I
was.
think the vote was yesterday.
Was it?
Whether they would
Well,
still be
you know
part
what?
of England.
You approach Jason Shaw when you see him. I'm sure he knows.
Mhm.
Here we go, 5-4. Let's roadmap it, Donnie says. Looking for a Cosmo here to nickel it up a piece. Well, cut break.
Oh, 9 ball.
He
9 ball.
does.
Wow.
Nickel
wow,
a piece.
Yep. Well,
Use
that
the
was a
cut
quick
break.
one. That'll get us closer to 2 o'clock.
Need to clap for him.
Yes. Well, Mika noticed he used the cut break and nicked the 9 going in. There you go.
Yeah.
55 was staying alive.
My youngest son right now is in the Middle East. He's in Dubai selling software to the people in Dubai.
Does
So-
he shoot pool?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
No.
There's a really nice pool hall there.
By software, do you mean
I took
T-shirts?
him to every game but pool.
T-shirts and stuff, you mean software?
No, no.
Oh, some real good
computer
software.
Computer software.
Oh, he's a
He works
computer
for-
programmer.
No, he's actually a sales representative for,
Oh.
for a major company based out of Natick, Massachusetts, called the Math Works.
He plugs himself like crazy. This guy, I love him. He
And-
works that plug.
Well, he's over there selling.
He's
them.
like Roto-Rooter.
No, he's done well. He's a good kid. I'm very proud of both of my children. And I have two great
Mr. Strickland
two
coming over to
grandchildren.
sweat
Yeah,
this
yeah,
match.
there you go.
I wonder if the winner of this match plays Mr. Strickland, because Mr. Strickland getting a little comfy here. I'm going to give you a shot of Mr. Strickland if we can. He's sitting right down in the corner behind Mika. There he is talking to Eddie the Lock. Donnie Mills set the break. Let's get back to the table. We're tied at 5. The 1 ball gets kissed into the side. The 6 ball finds the corner. The 2 ball has a shot into the bottom left-hand corner. The 3 looks like it's going to have a shot for the other corner. This looks like a Cosmo. What do you think?
It's
2 to the 3 is the hardest, no?
Yeah. Well,
the
I
first
think-
shot of the rack
yeah.
is the most difficult right here.
Yeah, if he's just dragging it to the side, he's going to have to get close to the corner. I mean, close to the side.
And you
rail,
see
think,
how what
with
I
cue
said,
ball.
the professional players are very approachable. Here's a fan shaking hands with Mr. Strickland. Right on cam, you could watch it. Donnie Mills says, look, well, no time for shaking hands. Let's get down to biz. And I think that's probably the hardest
yeah.
shot. Look at this,
That's
above the 3.
Yeah, that
Very,
was, that
very,
was,
very,
that
very
was,
good shot.
Yes, it was.
Now the 3 to the 4 is a little difficult.
It is.
Well, can he come down below the 4 and shoot it into the side pocket, or is that 8, like 9 feet wide? He's going to look at that.
Is he going to shoot the 3 in the side or the corner? It's a either or there to play position either or again.
He just took a good look at the 4 into the side pocket, the opposite side.
From seeing some of the shots he played earlier, I think he's going to play the 3 in the corner and bring the cue ball back out for the 4 in the same corner.
I was just looking at the side.
Well, maybe he is. The way he's lining up now, it looks like the side, but yeah.
Rolling it, or coming all the way down with reverse. Ooh,
Wow, what a shot.
might have got fortunate.
I think he did.
Yeah,
As
that-
Mika
If
is
he
about
hadn't
to.
touched the 7,
that is
he'd have been hooked.
that's
Do
a
you have
quality
any-
shot right there.
You have any of those flight bags that you use to regurgitate? Because Mika needs one right now. When he seen that little bump, that tickle of love there, Mika just shook his head and was like, wow. His stomach flipped over like he was on a roller coaster approaching the first initial hill.
Oh, it took guts to play the shot the way he did. He went for the win.
Yeah, but without that tickle, that cue ball would have
Well-
been. He got a roll.
Or if he'd have tickled it too much, it would have followed it and been in the way it sat.
Yeah. Yes, many times we see that happen. Watch
No,
the side
look
pocket
out,
here.
Look out.
Bada bing. Wow.
Living on the edge.
Yeah, Mika reacts more than a lot of people to that sort of, when his opponent gets lucky.
Donnie
As
Mills.
they like to say in golf, there's no pitches on the scorecard. So getting out is getting out. The reason he came close to scratching on that shot is because he stroked it real nice.
Yeah, I like the way he's staying down and focusing on it. The only shot I've seen him really miss was
Yeah,
the one
that-
where he jumped up.
Yeah.
Right.
He was not confident with it, and he jumped up.
Well, a lot of people, once you shoot a shot, once you see the flight of the cue ball start, you know it's off. And that's when you jump.
Yeah.
If you're jumping in the middle of your stroke, wow, that's. and
Both
I-
of these
I
players-
have seen that.
Both players are well seasoned, though. They know better than to do things like that. But
yeah,
you know what happens? It happens. You get spooked.
yeah,
And
well,
what happens is you realize you missed it as soon as you hit it. That second you touch it, and you just get up and you're like,
yeah,
nah,
yeah.
you can't believe it. So Anyway, in any
Especially
case,
a miss that big. You should jump up because
we're at 65, Tom. New York State Thruway. Speed limit. Heading down south. Donny's way. Where they start going up to 75.
yes, they do.
So let's see what happens here.
There's some great bridges down there too.
Absolutely.
Not a big fan of bridges.
Bridges.
Don't like bridges.
Tom's amazing. All right, the 6 ball right into the corner. The 9 gets lined up towards the other corner, but the cue ball finds the side pocket.
My son went to the University of Tampa, so I know the area.
Yeah, oh boy, Alligator Alley. Wow, what a drive that is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like it's never
100
been
miles on nothing.
Yeah. Fill up now. I remember when I first went down, I think there was one gas station. Now they might have something in between. There was one fuel station. Fuel up now.
Or else
Yeah.
you'll be eaten by the alligators.
And it's so flat and so straight. It's just like, wow. You just keep,
Mika's looking, again, he's mapping. He's got cue ball in hand, ball in hand with the cue ball. He's mapping it out. His biggest concern is the 3 ball, from the 3 to the 4 to the 5, it looks like. There's something I recommend to people that I give lessons in this game also. He's following the first shot, which I totally recommend to people that play this game. Everything we do in life, we do in a forward motion. Our judgment is better. Everything's better. So why not follow the ball as much as possible? At least that's my theory.
Well, he got right where he needed to be on the 3 to come off the 2 rails and have the right angle.
Oh,
on that
absolutely.
full ball.
He's in very good shape here to
Things
run this rack.
Things are going as planned, but he's going to overrun
No,
this one.
he come up short on that. He didn't draw that the way he wanted to. Again, he drew the ball.
Yeah, he had to set up for that on that one, though. He just mishit it.
Of course, that was the proper shot he played. He just
bringing the 4 ball back up to the other short rail and leaving the cue behind the 7 is the shot. And he might have left some paint, not sure. Well, tell him by Mika's body language he didn't.
no, he's got him safe, but he didn't want him at the table.
Of course.
Donny might be able to kick this side rail, back rail, and come at the 4 ball. Kick it down table. I bet he's looking to kick it right down there past the 8 to the other back rail. Now he's going to go on the side rail before the 5 ball.
And there's Mr. Randy Labate sitting right there in the corner,
Yeah,
right
that's
to
it.
our left.
Another Everett guy.
That's the gentleman.
Randy and I grew up in the same hometown.
Really?
Yes.
I feel bad for him.
Well, he lived on the high side of town. I was on the poor side of town. So.
Yeah, we've all been there. And now a famous author, Tom Mcgonagal, right here in the booth.
World famous.
Yes, world renowned. Yeah, just with the Double Dave. Good. Tom knows Double Dave. Tom Mcgonagal sitting in the booth with Richard Andrews. Just want to remind you, these 2 fine gentlemen trying to call this and have some fun and keep you company. We want to just send a big shout out to them and let their families know and friends, if they're watching, that's who's in the booth. And Mika doesn't want to let Donny get back up again.
He had his only chance. It should be his only chance, that right? Looks like 6-6 is coming.
'66. We got to give a big shout out to Dan Hydrich. Dan Hydrich Custom Cues. Phil Capel. Tiger Products. Q-Shock. Lucasi Cues. The Tap League. Aramis and Simonis Cloth. AZ Billiards.
I'm good. I'm here.
All right. The Kings of Vapor. And the live stream news group on Facebook, folks. If you have Facebook accessibility, you can go over to or search out live stream news on Facebook, and that's the logo you'll see, that one in the upper right-hand corner. And you could suggest to be a member. It's all about live streaming. And I'm Upstate Al with AZB TV, and we're here at the Turning Stone Casino and Resort in the great Verona, New York area.
Yeah, Facebook has been a real big addition to the pool scene, I believe. I watch a lot of the trick shots. Florian, some of the stuff he does gets posted on Facebook. People are amazed when they see that stuff.
And you're watching the Turning Stone Classic 22.
And I like to put up and share everything that Upstate Al sends me, so 4,900 other people can share what he gives me.
Oh, absolutely.
We should all share it.
We love it. Everybody shares it.
Get the word out there,
around.
folks.
Sure.
The only ones that are going to help this game are the people that play it and love it.
And this is the official poster for the Turning Stone Classic 22. As you can see, Karen Core featured with Shane Van Boning and Johnny Archer. As Mika's taking his break, so we're electing to go through some of the great sponsors. And just a reminder, coming up, Bill Cody versus Brittany Bryant, young lady out of Canada. And that'll be 2 o'clock match. And this weekend following this one, this is where I'll be. It's a free stream coming out of Mr. Q's. It's a Predator Pro-Am Tour, September 27th through the 28th, and that'll be in Lindenhurst, New York, out there on the Long Island side of town. And we want to just make sure that you check out AccuStats, accustats.com, and just like you see in the upper left-hand corner of this blue banner, that is their website address, accu-stats.com, and you can check out the Make It Happen there at 8 Ball Invitational.
I'm making noise, Al. I'm just making noise.
I was wondering who that was. Okay, it's the 8 Ball Invitational.
It's
November
not the guy
6th.
you owe the money to. So
November 6th through the 9th. And this is their official poster for that event. And as you could see, you got Darren Appleton, Bustamante, Shane Van Boning on there, and the next ones are being voted in. You got to go to the website and check it out, accustats.com. And after that, they'll be heading down to Chesapeake, Virginia to bring you the U.S. Open. So keep abreast of that. Getting on the AZB TV side, I'll be heading up to Akron, Ohio, and we're going to be bringing you this 3-night extravaganza, another free stream. Earl Strickland, the mighty Earl Strickland versus Johnny Moore out of Canada. Winner take all. Right there at Kings of Vapor. And now own the pool room, and it's called Kings of Billiards. And Kings of Vapor also happens to be a sponsor of Upstate Al's. He will be here, the owner, Chad Bowling, will be here tomorrow. And I'm going to try to have him in the booth and say a few words and what he thinks about the challenge match coming up in his new pool room. And then after we get out of Long Island, we'll be heading up here to Snookers, one of the greatest pool rooms you want to enter up in Providence, Rhode Island, owned by Mr. Steve and Regina Goulding. What a beautiful, they're both interior decorators, and what they did to this pool room is amazing. It's a $5,000 added banner event, which means you win the event, you not only get the cheese, the trophy, you also get a banner placed up on the wall. And this is the pitches that you see on the side of the wall are part of the New England Billiards Hall of Fame. The banner that you win goes, those green banners alongside the top walls go around the whole room. And those winners, some of them, let's say, are Jim Rempe, Mika, Mike DeShane, Tom DeAlfonso, just goes on. Mike Zuglin's won it numerous times.
George Sansucci.
The late George Sansucci.
Rick Marcos.
Rick
Tony
Marcos.
Robles.
Let me stop the echo. Go ahead. Keep going. You're right.
I just, off the top of my head, which, you know, I have to have something on the top of my head. I have no hair.
Okay, Meek is back from his break. Thank you, Tom, for that info. Many more names up there. You really got to go up there to check out Snookers in Providence. We'll be there.
My name isn't up there, Al.
Yet.
Yeah.
All right, back to the action. We're tied at 66 apiece. One ball into the side pocket. Oh, excuse me for making noise with the stool, guys. Just got to stretch out a little bit. All right, let's get. Okay, we do have Richard Andrews back in the booth. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, glad to be back.
And the
Just got my
Beatles in the
autographed
background.
Autographed copy of Right on Cue.
Right on cue.
There's adult material in there, Richard, so please don't let someone who shouldn't read that, please.
All right.
I would hate to see it fall into the wrong hands. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you like it.
A little bounce, and he'll be okay. 5 to the 6. If you don't like it, you could always get a refund. Just send it back.
You'll
down.
get. I could
Just
give you
to raise-
back maybe 8 cents.
All right, here we go. 66.
That's the profit. I know why writers drink. Tough way to make a living. It's almost as bad as pool.
Here we go. Mika on the 6. Just has to stop it right there. He's got the perfect angle for the 8. He pushes it over a little bit to follow it down for the 8. Very good shot. That's why I got the earphones on and he's got the stick.
Well, it's hard to see from where we are. Every little
The
angle.
table's 4 foot away from you. If you're having trouble here,
That's
you
more-
shouldn't
Al,
even be playing in this
One
tournament.
thing I know is that's more than 4 feet.
All right, here we go.
I could
Mr.
tell you a joke about that, but it's inappropriate for what we're doing here.
Okay, Mika Immonen now leads 7 to 6. We're getting closer to the hill, folks. Hold on to your seats. Put your seat belts on. We'll be flying at 76,000 feet. We're doubling the airspace of a normal commercial airline. That's how far we're going to be flying up because this is going to go hill here. And once it goes hill, get the popcorn out. Mr. Earl Strickland over there talking with my son. He loves my son. Both of them get along tough.
Just one of your boys a hero?
Yes. There you see Billy the Kid. That's Billy the Kid right dead center.
He
with
talks
the
with his
short-sleeve
hands
shirt
too.
on.
It must
He's
be a
talking
New
with his
England
hands.
thing.
It's a New England thing. That's Billy the Kid. That's Eddie the Lock with the sunglasses on his hat. He brought his Harley Davidson up here. There you see Earl Strickland. There's my son with the hat on backwards, pants drooping down, with toothpick hanging out of the side of his mouth. That's my son Joseph.
He's
he comes
cool.
along and helps
He's
me out.
Cool, Al.
Yeah, he's a young stud. Everything's cool to him. But you know what? He helps out, Tom. When I'm on the road and I need some wires
Oh,
ran.
good for him. Good for you.
Yeah. And I got another set. I actually have another set. Replica of what you see here.
Oh, wow.
And he wants to, eventually I think he wants to run around. It's hard to be in too many places at one time, you know, so.
Ever see that movie Multiplicity?
Multiplicity.
That was
it
a great
sounds
movie.
familiar.
Great movie.
Here we go. Let's go back to the break. 5
There
ball.
goes the 5. Is he going to
And
bring the
shape
1
on
up
the
table
1.
far enough
Yeah.
now? Looks
The
like
one
the
is-
4 might get him. Looks like the 4 got him, judging from this reaction.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, this is almost an exact replay of an earlier
Oh,
break, I believe.
Yeah, isn't it funny how things like the tide changes, you know, all of a sudden you're getting bad rolls. Because
Yeah.
he's getting the good rolls and you get the good rolls and he's getting the bad rolls.
I always tell people don't worry too much about the rolls because it's going to, if your opponent's getting them now, that just means in a little bit you're going to get them because it tends to even out over time.
Sometimes,
Well,
boy, I'll tell you what, when it's going bad, it's going bad. It's like you're stuck in quicksand and somebody puts their foot on your shoulder and says, hold me up.
Sometimes, yeah,
It's tough to feed that sometimes.
yeah.
yeah, the way Mika kicked at that ball and tried to save him or leave nothing. The only bad thing I don't like to send the one ball down near the next, the object ball down near the next ball because if you leave a shot, it's too easy for them to play position.
Right.
You know, I
Good
try to
point.
create separation when I'm kicking at balls. At least then, you get the cue ball. They have to move the cue ball more than they want to possibly to get position, which
Right.
makes
Very
things
good
more
point.
difficult. He just had an easy stop shot for the 1 to get on the 2 there. So try to create separation, folks, when you're playing.
Well,
you're
you
kicking at balls.
Separation. You shouldn't be married if you want to be a pool player anyway. You know, Steve Meserak told me that many years ago. He says, "Kid, you want to be a good pool player?" He says, "No girlfriend." He says, "No job." He says, "And give me all the money you got in your pocket right now and go over there and start playing somebody else for lunch."
Yeah.
There you go. That'll make you.
If you don't learn that way, you
I was foolish enough to try that a couple of times in my life, and it didn't work out well. It's hard enough to play the game when you got no money to pay the guy. It's even worse. Kids do things like that. Well, Donny's in good shape to get out here.
like I said, it's got an ingredients of going hill, and you know, from here it's going to be 77 sunset. So get the snacks. Oh, somebody touched the scoreboard. And one of the guys out in the trucks, it's not 77 yet. Please take that down.
We have a truck here, too?
And backup satellites in case we lose internet
I
service.
didn't
We
know
can
that.
go via satellite.
And you
wow.
are really big.
That's awesome. Wow.
I make excuses for myself. Well, Donny hit it pretty sporty.
So you're not really, you don't have a truck out there, Al. You are the truck.
I am the truck. You got that right.
But not big truck.
Oh, man, that's one, I don't even want to talk about that one. Gee whiz. Here we go, 77.
I must say you've come a long way. And who would have thought 20, 30 years ago the pool would be on the internet?
Pat Fleming,
Pat Fleming thought of it. Yeah, he was a man ahead of his time.
pioneer, without a doubt.
He saw, he had a vision. He knew this was possible, and he wanted to do it, and he did it. Which you got to give the guy all the credit in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pat Fleming of XXII.
I have a match. I played Steve Meserak in the Eastern States one year, and I have a match. I need to download. I need to get it. It's on on cassette. I'm talking with my hands again, folks. But anyway,
You got to be careful.
I got to get it on a disc so I can maybe shoot it out to AZ and they can show it on AZB. I know they have a lot of Steve Meserak memorabilia on there. I'd like to share that with the rest of them. I did lose the match, but to me it was a great match.
Was it straight pool or what?
No, it was a 9-ball. 9-ball. I couldn't play straight pool with Steve Meserak, but
Yeah, he plays by himself or played by himself.
yeah,
straight pool.
he was phenomenal. I watched him run 150 balls one day, and
I talk with his son occasionally.
not
Steve
one ball
Jr.
had a chance of missing. It was incredible the way he would just split the pocket. But I got to 11-10 against them.
No, Troy, I wasn't down here for the 10. I was down here at 10:15, and I threw the cameras on, though you were able to watch it, but I wasn't doing any commentating. But about 10:15, I got down here. They wanted me to come down and stream to 12 o'clock, to start 12 o'clock. I made a post about it yesterday before I went to bed, that I would start at noon. But I was down here about 10 after 10, quarter after 10.
Now the bad part about this match, the players left in the tournament, one of these guys is going on the loser's side, and he's probably going to rip it up for a while.
Yeah, real dangerous on that B side.
Yeah,
Any one of these
they'll
two.
take out their aggressions on the loser's side. There will be
you
a loser.
experienced that firsthand, didn't
There
you?
will be a loser here.
You were
yes.
saying earlier.
Oh yeah.
Or with Mika.
There you go, Donny Mills. Looks like he's going to approach the hill first.
It's picture perfect. Yeah. Even though he's got a nice, easy shot, he's not taking it for granted. And that's what you should do.
Yeah.
There you have it. Mr. Donnie Mills approaches the hill first.
It's a good match. I'm glad the racks are going
Yeah,
a little bit more quickly now than they
the
were
issues
in the
have seemed
beginning.
to be resolved
Yeah.
somewhat.
I remember Donnie doing that to Mika in their match one time, just over and over and over, and Johnny just sat there on the rail. Mika was not too happy about that. It was at the U.S. Open a few years ago.
Well, he accepts the rack.
We
Let's see
do
which
have-
side of the table he goes to.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a crack in it.
Oh,
It
no,
may
they're-
mean that
they're-
it's a
they're-
crack that he
Yep.
likes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know?
If you look at the right side of your monitor, sitting in the middle of your monitor, that's Dana Buffalo, the tournament director, sitting here watching this match, making
out,
sure that
Gilboa,
it
look
keeps
out.
going smooth. I tell you, it's got every making of a hill.
Yeah, you read it.
What's the lottery number tonight, Al?
Not telling you.
You're not telling me?
No.
Wow.
And if I win, I'm giving you.
And I was willing to share.
And if I win, I'm giving you $12.50 for that book.
$12.50.
How much is the book anyway, Tom? We never said.
It's $10.
$10.
A signed copy. You can order it on my my website. It's $13 shipped to you signed.
And the website address?
It's you had to ask.
Oh, wait a minute. This is your website?
It's Tom Mcgonagal at rightonq.com.
There you go. Tom Mcgonagal. And if you want to know how to spell that, we'll flash it up on the screen for you. There's his last name. Tom Mcgonagal at rightonq.com.
Yeah, not at, just Tom
Oh.
Mcgonagal, rightonq.com.
There you go. Tom Mcgonagal,
And you can order the book on it. You can go there and go on the Amazon website, and I'm talking with my hands again, sorry.
It's quite all right.
And that'll lead you to where you can order my book also.
Oh, okay. There you go, folks.
And I have a rate for Canadian players, people also. It's more money to ship
Yes, it
the
is.
book, considerably more
Yes,
money to
it
ship
is.
to Canada. So
I had a contest and I gave away free Kamui chalk and some other products, and when I had to ship it to Canada, wow, what a headache.
yes.
What a headache.
But I have book bets on this tournament also. I have to win 3 matches. 5 people bet against me, which, I wish more people had bet against me. I just like...
Can I get in with those 5?
Yeah, I am. It's not too late, Al.
The window's still open. I love joking with Tom. I tell you, he's a gentleman and a scholar, along with Richard Andrews, that's sitting here on board. We're having a great time here at the Turning Stone. Come on by and pay us a visit. Pass by the booth, introduce yourself when we got a chance. We love to put names and screen names and faces together, or just introduce yourself.
Bill Hill.
Here we go.
Nice.
Get the popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. We got the first Hill match of the Turning Stone Classic 22 right in front of us.
And I think you called this 4 games ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always doing it. I'm wishing. What I'm doing
Yeah.
is I'm wishing it, because
Right.
it starts bringing us to the
It's
edge of
more
the seat.
exciting. It's more
you know?
exciting. Yeah.
Now, I think you've done this a time or two, haven't you?
It's just once or twice.
Yeah.
Old road dog I am. I found out yesterday I got a warrant out for my arrest. He let me, Tom, Scary thing to find out. The Museum of Natural History called me and said I got to get back and on display. So,
How long have you been doing this, Al?
if I told you that, it would cost you a lot of money. There's a lot of people that would pay good money to find out where I am right now.
Okay.
Witness
Those
protection. I'm
guys
in the
right
witness
there.
protection
Uh-huh.
program. And here's a good shot of the late Paul Newman, also behind the back from the Hustler.
Wow. Is that a Bella Bushka he's got in his hand there?
That looks like a regular Sneaky Pete or just one of the old McDermott cues
I
off the wall.
I play in a room with this guy, and he comes in and he takes a stick off the rack on the wall, and he says, "I got a Walla Bushka today."
A Walla Bushka.
A Walla Bushka. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Something like W.C. Fields used to shoot with.
That'll go along with your software
You
from
know-
earlier T-shirts.
One more little stupid tidbit of information. The W.C. Fields movie where he's got that crooked cue stick.
Yes.
What was his name in that movie?
I remember, but I couldn't remember it right now.
His name was the Great Mcgonagal.
Oh, my goodness. Tom Mcgonagal. Isn't he kind of relative?
And one day when I was playing in the Eastern States, Herbie Lehman, do you know Herbie?
Maybe
You've
by
done,
face.
You've done commentary. He looks at me and says, yes, the Great Mcgonagal.
Yeah. I like kids.
I
At the end of my
I
cane,
didn't
we're in a
know. I didn't
pot
have
full
a
of boiling
clue what he
water.
was talking about, but I found out later on. I was a W.C. Fields character. And just so happens he had a pool cue.
Heard it through the grapevines, folks, coming to you live from the Turning Stone.
So Al, did you also think that this rack might take a while?
Oh, this is a 4-minute rack, easy.
Yeah, we might just go right into the 2 o'clock round after
I
this.
don't want to. You can have her. She's too fat for me. Oh, there we go. See, Mika doesn't like those cracks, but Donny does.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, he's going to move that. He knows where to put his cue ball based on where they're at. Mika's saying they're really wide, apparently.
Excuse me, waitress, give these guys anything they want as long as they pay for it.
Thank you. I have a 2 o'clock match. That's why I keep asking Richard what time it is.
Well, you should step out and go practice a little bit, Tom.
No, I'd rather be with you, Al.
Yeah, you know what? At the
I
age
want to finish this.
at the age that you're at,
Never put off what you can finish.
I'll give
Maybe
you
in 3 days.
I'll give you a famous quote from Mike Zuglin. I was at Snookers and I bought him in a Calcutta players auction, and he was sitting in a stool at the corner in the old Snookers. I said, Mike, aren't you going to practice? I want my horse to get up there and be warm. He says, if I don't know what I'm supposed to know by now, he says, I might as well get out of the game.
And he wasn't kidding. He never practiced.
Yeah.
And I played with him in a tournament that had red cloth and red chalk.
Oh, were you at Jillian's?
One of the old barroom. What's the name of it? I can't think of the name.
Anyway.
But anyway, it had red chalk, and we played in the tournament like 3 weeks later, and he takes his cue out, and the red chalk is still on the tip of his cue. So he didn't practice between then and
Right.
Charlie
All
Horse
right, it's
tournaments.
no good. Mika's not taking this rack.
It was the Charlie Horse tournaments they ran back in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe. Those were nice events.
Let me crank up the table audio, see if we can pick them up.
Could be Dana Buffalo time.
Dana's going to get involved. It's just a matter of time. Dana can only stand so much.
Well, luckily, this is under time right now.
Dana will get out there until both players are sitting in their seat. And Dana's sitting right there. Emily Duddy's sitting right behind them there. And if you see him stand up, he's going to come in. He's going to give him a warning. Either you guys rack it. He hates to get involved, especially at Hill. But he will get in there and he'll tell him, look, you guys, both of you are going to sit down and I'm going to rack these balls. And nobody's going to look at them. You're just going to get up and break them.
It's like 2 used car salesmen right here. One,
Well, one of them
who's
is.
going to screw?
One of them is Donny is. He owns a car
Oh,
business.
does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know that.
Is Donnie trying to sell him this rack?
Promise them the world. Give them nothing.
Donny, you heard Donny just say you can't touch the balls. And
Here
here
we go.
comes Dana Buffalo.
There we go. Third party. Bring him in. And this is the right thing to do in this situation, folks. Of course, it's only going to be done once on the rack that Mika's breaking, so that's kind of an injustice right there. Not that I'm taking sides. Dana's kind of standoffish. Is he going to get the rack? Is he going to take charge here? He's going to let him fight it out a little bit longer, I think.
Well, he went in there and he said, look, you guys got to get the show on the road or else I'm going to step in. It's Hill. He hates to do it.
Yes.
Like I said, he will give him the warning. If you guys
There we go.
don't get this
There
track
we go.
together, I'm coming in and then you're going to accept
This
it.
should be a round of applause
And here we
right
go.
here. They made a decision.
We're underway, folks. It's Hill. We're racing to 9. The Iceman, Mika Immonen, set to break, playing the great Donny Mills.
And he made the wing ball.
Ooh, the 2-ball got him this time.
Yeah.
Well, it's a kick. You know, you kick the one down table towards the bottom, the lower half of your monitor.
And he will aggressively probably play that. It's a nice kick. He's going to stick it behind the 2 and the 4 if he hits it solid.
It lays nicely.
Much better. And he's driving the 1 ball away from the 2 ball.
Yeah.
Just like so.
But he didn't.
Yeah, I think he got the right speed on.
Sure
Yeah,
did.
but Donny's got a kick too.
Yeah, he's got a kick, but
less blockers.
That's right.
Sorry.
But if the 1 gets up in behind those blockers, it's kind of the same thing. Or he could kick the 1 thin on the side and go back up table with the cue ball behind the 4 ball. At risk of a scratch there, though.
Yes.
But when these tables are tight, it's hard to scratch too. That's the benefit of tight
I
blockers.
always look at it the opposite way. You could take that 9 ball and send it for a ride, sort of saying like, you're taking a shot at the
What's
cheese.
going on here, folks? Is this going to hang? Yes, it is. Wow.
And the 9 ball won't find a hole. An object ball will have a hard time finding a hole. You just send that cue ball around, let that go around a little bit. It'll find a hole.
It's a heat-seeking missile. It's like the corner pockets are on fire.
Yeah, if the 1 ball there had been the cue ball, it would have dropped.
You got that right. It would have hung and then
boom.
I did see a bad roll the other day on one of these tables where a ball side hooked a guy on a shot it never should have happened. But they are relatively straight.
And Hill.
Yeah, I've played on several tables practicing and as well as my 2 matches, and I've seen no issues with being out of level or anything. They've been playing really nicely.
Well, the crew from Diamond, they come in here and set these up in a couple hours, and then they spend a few hours afterwards just leveling each table. And they don't just put 1 level. They got 8 levels around the whole table, if not 10.
I thought he had an angle to draw away from that 4 ball. Evidently he didn't.
All right, Mika's got to back cut this 3 ball.
From the
He's
9
got
ball
to draw.
here,
He's got
folks.
to draw between.
Wow, he might go
Great
on the
shot.
side. What a great shot.
He learned that shot from Corey there.
That's a world champion shot right there.
I was glad to hear the applause on that one. That was
I'd like the crowd
good
to
recovery.
get more into it. I'd love the crowd to get more. In fact, when we had that challenge match last week, I had the referee actually say that on the microphone. These guys love for your participation. Applaud when you see a great shot.
Sure.
And it got real exciting.
Yeah.
Talking about exciting, Donny is far from excited as he knows Mika is approaching this final 9 ball.
He didn't take many chances here. He played just the last 3 balls very conservative and very proper. He's going to get out. Nice match.
There you have
it. Nice match.
The Iceman, Mika Immonen. Right there, folks, taking down Donny Mills. Look, Donny Mills is not out of the tournament by far. He just moves over to the B side.
I hope it's on the B side, way away from where I am.
Oh, he's going to be there. He's
Where
gonna
you
be
don't want to be.
I want to say thank you to Mr. Tom Mcgonagal and Mr. Richard Andrews for staying in for this one. And we're going to get right back with our 2 o'clock match. Brittany Bryant coming up with, I forget Bill Conte? Is that who it is? Bill Cody. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, Richard.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure, Tom.
Pleasure's mine.